captain has done it!
Fantastic save!
Unbelievable! The stuff dreams are made of!
Speaking Football.
Hello and welcome to episode number 87 of Speaking Football. This is the third week that we're going to be on Twitch and I'm very excited. I think we have, can you remember that expression for pillar el truco or coger el truco? It's to get the hang.
Get the hang
of something like colgar.
Como colgar, ¿no?
That's it, or tender. To get the hang of something. So I think we're getting the hang of this Twitch business. Obviously, if you're joining us on Twitch, write to us in the message box, ask us questions just like last week, and we'll try our best to answer them and help you out. If you're listening to us on the radio, remember that if you enjoyed listening to Richard on the show Richard Vaughan Live just a little second ago, you can listen to him again right after us on La Hora Extra, so stick around for that. Now, today we're going to be reacting to what happened in the Champions League this week and teaching you a couple of interesting football expressions along the way. But before we do, let's have a look at last week's mystery player.
Mystery player.
Okay, before we get into the Champions League, let's do our mystery player. Ruben, clue number 1, please.
He scored the winning goal in a Copa del Rey final.
Fantastic.
Decimos Copa del Rey, no decimos
King's Cup.
King's Cup.
I would never say King's Cup. I would always say Copa del Rey. In fact, I remember when I was a little boy, I used to watch Sky Sports in the UK. That was like our canal or Movistar kind of channel, and it was always the Copa del Rey, even back then when it was starting. So always. So he scored the winning goal, the decisive goal, in a Copa del Rey final. Clue number 2, he played against Guardiola, and I believe we have a little photo of him that we're going to show you later.
Wait for it.
But if you're on Twitter, very quickly have a look at the photo with the chapa, with the cover on his face, and then we'll show you the one without the cover in a second. So yes, get on Twitter very quickly, speak_football_. He played against Guardiola. Clue number 3, Ruben.
Me encanta cómo se dice especialista balón parado. He was a set piece specialist.
Very good, exactly. So set, like in tennis. Set is the same in Spanish. Piece, like trozo or pieza. And a specialist, especialista. So
y con un guión entre set and piece.
That's true. It's two different words, but it has a guión, as a hyphen or a dash between the two words. So he was a set piece specialist. Clue number 4. Now he's a manager, but he's currently out of work. Now remember, out of work can literally mean estar en el paro. You can say, I'm out of work at the moment. It means that you don't have a job. So he's out of work. But we use it a lot in football to say that no está trabajando, he's not working. So he's out of work. But he is a manager. And clue number 5.
He's an ambassador for La Liga.
Fantastic. He's an ambassador, embajador. He's an ambassador for La Liga. Who was our mystery player, Ruben?
Our mystery player was... Milinko Pantic.
Fantastic, very good. Did you say Pantic in this country?
Bueno, aquí decíamos Pantic.
That's interesting.
Ten en cuenta que aquí, dependiendo de la época en la que un jugador de fuera haya llegado, se pronuncian las cosas de una manera u otra.
True. Yes, exactly. I think we were talking about the De Boer brothers a couple of weeks ago, weren't we? And we have different ways of this. It's like De Boer or De Boer. It depends on It depends on the commentator, really, who's talking. So yeah, I would probably say Pantic, because it has that C and then like a tilde on it, which I think they have in the former Yugoslavian countries, but I don't know. Pantic, very interesting. Anyway, did we have many winners this week?
Yeah, we have, bueno, not a lot of them. Acertaron. Bueno, voy a leerlos correctamente porque me he venido aquí arriba y he estado apuntando. Aquí les tengo. Es que no era fácil esta semana, ¿eh?
I think it was difficult. I think Ruben likes to complicate your lives.
Para mí el porte era importante. O sea, ver esa imagen sin verle la cabeza, el porte que decíamos que era bearing.
The bearing.
Y creo que es importante. Bueno, los acertantes han sido CPP, que no falla nunca, Javi Tamames, muy bien Javi, Daniel Martín Castillo, un clásico, Jocántaro, que nos dice, he's Milinko Pantic, his goal at the Copa del Rey final was made by the head.
Ah, okay, so he scored a header. It was a header. Yeah, so I would say it was scored with the head, like marcado. His goal was scored with his head, we would say.
Francisco Muñoz, que también acertó, y Román Bayón.
Bayón.
Enhorabuena a todos, sois unos cracks.
Ah,
No
yeah.
era nada fácil.
There are some people that just never ever fail. They're just kind of constantly there, which is absolutely incredible. Well, congratulations to everybody who took part. That wasn't easy, so really well done if you got it. Now, before we continue, I want to teach you two quick expressions that have nothing to do with football, but they are quite important. So they're not football expressions. They're not football
Not
expressions.
football
They're not.
But you can learn them too.
That's it.
También la puedes aprender, ¿eh? No.
Yeah, this show isn't all about football. You'll notice that if you're listening to me today that I sound a little bit constipado. How do we say constipado in English?
Sé que no es constipated.
No.
No. Y si alguien está constipado, no digáis constipated.
No.
Esto es de primero de false friends.
That's it, because constipated would be estreñido.
Yes,
would be
you can go to the bathroom.
when you can't go to the bathroom. And I don't think I'm a very polite person. I don't think I'd be telling you if I was constipated on the radio. That's none of your business, really. I don't think anyone's really interested. But for those of you wondering, why is Tommy talking like that? It's because I'm a little bit, I would say blocked up, you could say. I'm a little bit blocked up. Or you could just say I have a cold, like un resfriado.
You're a cold, but if you say you're under the weather, es que no estás bien, pero no es tan concreto, ¿no?
That's like me encuentro mal.
Me encuentro mal.
Me encuentro mal, no me encuentro bien. That would be I'm under the weather. But I would say at the moment I am a bit blocked up. So that's the first thing. And if you want to say me duele la cabeza, this is a problem for pronunciation sometimes with Spanish people. You say, I have a...
Cold. Bueno, acaba de decir Kublai Khan, I have a cold.
I have a cold. Yes, so that would be constipado. But how would you say me duele la cabeza or dolor de cabeza? You say a head...
A headache.
You've fallen in the trap.
Yeah.
It's headache is what we say. So it's spelled like ch.
Yeah.
It's
headache.
true. It's spelled like hedache, but we say headache.
Headache.
Is a proper pronunciation. I don't know if Kublai can phonetically spell that out for us on Twitch, but yeah, so I have a headache and I'm a bit blocked up, but I think I'm okay. Anyway, let's get on to the part of the show where we talk about what's been happening in the news. We're going to have a look at an article, a couple of articles about what's been happening in the Champions League this week, and that means that it's time for this week's football expressions.
Football expressions.
Okay, so our first expression of the day is clasificarse, which is a very important verb given that today the recording day is Thursday, and last night Barcelona failed to qualify for the last 16. Now, here's a question for you. When was the last time, la última vez, that Barca failed to qualify for the last 16?
More than 20 years ago, I remember a group with Milan and Leeds.
Very good. What a memory this guy has. Well, a colleague of mine, his name's Kieran Quayle, he's from Ireland, and he writes for Diario As, a newspaper, and he wrote an article about the last time that Barcelona failed to qualify for the last 16. And the title of the article is The Last Time Barca Failed to Qualify for the Last 16. Ruben, can you read that first paragraph for me, please? The last time?
Of course. The last time Barcelona failed to advance to the knockout stage of the Champions League was in the 2000 and 2001 season. The Catalan side finished third in the group behind AC Milan and Leeds United.
Very good. So your memory was correct. Yeah.
Yeah,
they
well, it's not easy because they have been talking about that.
That's it.
It's
been in
going
the
to
news,
happen.
no?
Sí, sabían que iba a pasar, entonces te han reforzado el recuerdo, ¿no?
That's it. Yeah, so they refreshed our memory.
Refresh.
That's it. So we say, like actualizar, we say to refresh your memory. So yes, the last time they failed to advance to the knockout stages. So how do knockout stages would be like the sort of elimination rounds. In Spanish, you would say?
Pues de eliminación, ¿no?
Eliminatoria, you would say as well?
Eliminatoria es...
Eliminatoria would be the knockout stage or the knockout
rounds.
Sí,
es como eliminatoria del CAO. Se habla mucho del CAO, eliminatoria, sí.
Yeah, I think I would probably say... Well, we could say the knockout stages. We can also say the last 16, which would be octavos. So it depends on the competition kind of thing. The next paragraph was, it was a low point for the club and one which current boss Xavi will remember. The former midfielder was part of Llorenç Serrat Ferrer's squad that season and played in the last 3 group stage games. The last time that they were unable to qualify for the Champions League group stage was in 2003, as they finished in 6th place in La Liga. If I say that something was a low point for somebody, like un punto bajo, literally. How would we say that in Spanish? Would you literally say punto bajo or like a... It sounds strange in Spanish.
Muy raro en español.
Un momento muy duro.
Sí,
like...
fue un momento, sí, digamos como un momento complicado, dirías un momento difícil, un momento
That's
en el
it.
que estaban bajos. Sí.
It's true. You know, in Spanish, I've noticed that the big presence of this word complicado. You say complicado for a lot of things where we would maybe use a different words. For example, you say un campo complicado.
Sí,
It was
claro.
it was a complicated stadium or a complicated pitch. We would never say that in
Complicado
English.
para todos.
Yeah, complicado. Una situación muy complicada. We'd say like a really difficult situation or a really tough situation, and you always say complicated. I've just noticed that.
Se puede utilizar prácticamente todo.
Yeah, that's it.
Complicado siempre lo puedes utilizar.
I've noticed it in my last 10 years of studying Spanish that you like that word complicado. Xavi was quoted as saying, "Miracle, I don't think winning in Munich would be a miracle. We can beat anyone." Do you agree? Or was he hoping for a miracle there in Munich?
Well, it could be a miracle. I have a theory about that.
Okay.
When you play a match, you have a percent of possibilities of winning.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah? Always have at least 1%.
Mm-hmm.
Because pueden pasar muchas cosas.
Of course. Yeah.
Entonces, efectivamente, los milagros, lo que sucede es que es muy complicado cuando tienes un porcentaje tan bajo ganar.
Mm-hmm. That's it. I like what you said there. Pueden pasar muchas cosas. I would say anything can happen. Puede pasar
Anything can
cualquier
happen.
cosa. Yeah, anything can happen. Not all things can happen.
No.
Anything can happen is what we would say. Exactly, and it was a high-risk game. You know, it really was a high-risk game, and I just think that Barcelona's recent record against Bayern Munich hasn't been great. You know, 8-2, and then they were hammered at home as well in the Camp Nou, and then it kind of happened again last night. You know, 3-0, very easy win for Bayern Munich. Let's move on to another game. Something that was more or less a miracle happened on Tuesday night in Portugal. Let's have a listen to what happened.
Through on goal to put Atleti into the last 16 and to break Porto's hearts. The ultimate smash and grab from Simeone and Atletico Madrid. And somehow, after a desperate group stage, they will go through.
I love that expression, the ultimate smash and grab. I don't know if you maybe heard that. I think you probably understood everything in that except maybe smash and grab. You ever heard that expression before? Smash and grab literally means it's kind of like robar. Almost like we use it in football to be like counter-attacking football,
Yeah.
I would probably say. So, you know, Atletico were defending a lot in that game. And then it was like, okay, counter-attack. And I would say that that's a smash and grab move. Smash, like golpear.
Sí, lo hablamos el otro día, recuerda de
That's it.
Smashing Punkies.
That's it.
Espero que
smash
hayas
and go-
escuchado algo de Smashing
that's it.
Punkies esta semana.
Exactly. So literally, it's like machacar y agarrar. That's what we
Ajá.
say, and it's just a way to say a counter-attacking team is what we would say for a smash and grab. So the ultimate smash and grab from Simeone, breaking Porto's hearts. I like that expression from the commentator. Romper el corazón. So he broke the hearts of Porto. What else did he say? Oh yes, and it was I can't remember what the word he used was, but he basically said that the group stage was terrible. It was a very difficult campaign. Really incredible game. A very common football expression to describe this game is that it was a feisty encounter. Feisty, F-E-I-S-T-Y. Do you know what we mean by
Es como
feisty?
muy enérgico, ¿no?
That's a very
Como
good
muy
word.
enérgico.
I like that word, yeah. So like energetic, but it also means a little bit... Would you ever say peleón?
Sí,
If
sí,
a
you can
person
say-
can be peleón.
Sí, una persona peleona,
That's it, una persona
luchadora,
peleona.
muy luchadora.
Exactly. Would you ever describe a game as peleón?
Yeah,
Un
you can
partido
describe
peleón?
Atlético de Madrid.
Exactly. Atletico Madrid is a feisty team. Simeone is a feisty guy, and this was a feisty match, is what we would say. That was
Yeah.
almost like a fight. I think we had 2 red cards. Could have been about
En un
5.
partido muy caliente.
Ajá.
You can say hot. Hot.
A hot game.
You can say hot or not.
Oh. I've heard
Típico.
spicy before, you know. I've heard people say a spicy game,
Spicy game?
Yeah, I've heard that before. Un partido picante, but it's not too common. We'd probably say a feisty game is what we'd say.
Feisty game.
Yeah, that's it. Brilliant. And lastly, we're going to look at one last article, but I'm curious here because I think that there are sometimes some very obvious errors in journalism, especially when people translate things from Spanish to English or vice versa. So there's an article here from FC Barcelona News, FCBN, in English. What's wrong with the headline from this publication? I'll read it out for those of you listening on the radio. Between tears.
Entre lágrimas.
Oh,
Eso es raro, ¿no?
that sounds weird.
Oh.
That sounds weird. Between tears, I would say. Entre lágrimas, in tears is what I would say. In tears. He's in tears.
In tears.
Yeah, never say between tears. between tiers sounds like there are two like gotas,
Sí,
you know.
claro, es
so
como
there's
estar en
two-
medio, ¿no?
Yeah, and I'm here.
Es muy gráfico.
Very, very strange image. So I would say he's
No.
in tears. And Luis Suarez is injured. Okay, perfect. Luis Suarez is injured in the previous Madrid derby.
No, suena raro eso, ¿no?
Well, grammatically it's correct, but it completely changes the meaning. The previous Madrid derby was El Último
En el
derby.
último derby.
That's it. So it's not that. He was injured on Tuesday. He wasn't injured in the previous Madrid derby. So I would say antes de. How do we say antes de in English?
Before.
Before, exactly. Before the Madrid derby. Yeah. So Luis Suarez is injured before the Madrid derby. In tears, Luis Suarez is injured before the Madrid derby. A big blow for. Do you know what I mean when I say a big blow for somebody? A big.
Pues un bluff, una decepción.
Yeah, well, a blow can mean a decepción, a disappointment. It can also mean like una mala noticia. Yeah, bad news. It's a big blow for Atletico having Suarez injured. I noticed another small mistake in Marca, who are normally very good. You know, Marca are normally excellent, and you know we're big fans of Marca here. Obviously,
Yeah.
you know we work with them sometimes, but a little mistake with the translation. It's just that the head title is okay. Real Madrid take on Atletico in pursuit of their 10th win in a row. That's fine. And then they say Ancelotti's side have won their 9 games. Nos falta algo aquí.
Sí.
There's something missing. Ancelotti's side have won their 9 games. How do you say últimos?
Our last,
Their
na-
last-
9 games.
Their last 9 games, exactly. If you say Ancelotti's side have won their 9 games, which 9 games? Which 9 games are we talking about? Just in general, in history of the club, I don't know. So like there are quite often typos, and I think a lot of the problem is that, and we understand this. I think a lot of people understand this in your job. If you have to work fast and translate something, God, you can make some terrible mistakes, you know, doing that kind of thing. So you must have made mistakes in your job before,
Yeah,
Robin,
of
because you do
course.
things too fast. We'll talk about that another day, I think. But keeping focused on the football, en Madrid están una buena racha. How do we say that? Madrid are
You
on.
can, on a run, or you can say too on a winning streak.
Very good, exactly. Yes, so they're on a winning streak of how many partidos? How many games?
Yeah, on a winning streak
Of 8 games, 9
eight
games.
or around
Well,
8.
9 just now.
No.
Possibly by the end of the weekend, it will be a winning streak of 10 games. But yeah, if you want to say una buena racha, it would be to be on a good run.
And you can say on fire too.
Yeah, it's very common in.
I love on fire. You can say that a lot of player talking about basketball.
It's true.
Yeah, the player is on fire. Ha metido 3 triples seguidos.
Yeah, it's
On
true.
fire.
It's a very American expression, I
Very
think, to be on
American.
fire, and it's now entering into our vocabulary. I would say in Europe, my dad, for example, hates when I use American vocabulary. I don't know if the same thing happens in Spain. If you maybe, I don't hear many Spanish people saying like computadora, for example, for computer, or carro for instead of coche. But you know, in our English, it does happen a lot. We take on a lot of these American words. So yes, they're on fire. They're on a fantastic run, a brilliant
In
run,
a great run.
a great run, exactly. Or they're on a winning streak of 9 games so far, according to this article. They're also Christmas champions at the moment. Have you ever had that expression before? They're Christmas champions. I think it's quite.
Campeón de Navidad, ¿no?
That's it. What do you think we mean?
Sí, nosotros decimos algo parecido.
That's it.
Es el campeón de navideño.
Campeón navideño.
Sí, bueno, sí, algo así. Sí.
So it's like halfway through the season. If you're winning in the league, you're the Christmas champions. So I think Real Madrid are going to finish the league as Christmas champions. Who have been some of their best players this season, in your opinion? Who have been some of the highlights for
In
Real
Real Madrid, for
Yeah,
example, I
yeah.
think Vinicius is going to. He's been the best one.
Yeah.
He's been the best one.
He's been amazing, hasn't he? Because it's just one of the problems with Vinicius, I thought, for his early career at Real Madrid was just in the last third of the pitch. Tercio is what we say. In the last third of the pitch, he sometimes struggled. He sometimes had problems making decisions, making the correct
yes.
decisions in terms of crossing the ball, providing the final pass, or the assist, the asistencia, providing the assist or giving the assist for dar la asistencia. That was sometimes a problem for him, and scoring as well. You know.
Well, in my opinion, I think he's a great player dribbling.
Yes, of
Yeah,
course.
it's very, very, very strong, very
Skillful.
very fast,
Mhm.
and that's obviously is you can say it's not that true.
Yeah.
But we have to wait for Bean is going to be a scorer.
Mhm.
And is going to be a good assistant.
Yeah,
That's
that-
something we have to wait for because he's a Brazilian guy. The mentality of the Brazilian guy, from time to time, you can find players that, ¿cómo diría? Se deprimen a veces. Bajan en
that's it.
depresión.
So they're very good ways to say this. You could say they to get depressed is a bit dramatic. That's more like mental health. But I would say their head goes down. So it's a
Their
very
head
visual
goes
image.
down.
Those of you watching me on Twitch, you could say that. Imagine this: your head goes down like that, and you drop
sí,
your head. So it means you get sad.
Yeah. Y como es un chico que le ves con mucha energía, con mucha confianza en sí mismo, que creo que es un poco fachada de cara al exterior cuando él interiormente sufre mucho con eso. Le pasó el año pasado cuando Benzema le pillaron diciendo que no pasara que no le pasaran. Y le costó, y es una mentalidad que tienen jugadores como Coutinho,
Yeah.
que le pasa exactamente eso, pierde la confianza y se convierte en un jugador que ahora mismo no puede jugar, yo diría casi en primera división. Y pasan otros jugadores, y él tiene que trabajar en eso, y el nivel de confianza es muy importante.
It's interesting how much confidence can affect your play. I totally agree with that. I think players like Coutinho, who were God, he was so positive when he played for Liverpool all the time. He played with a big smile on his face,
Yeah.
like Ronaldinho used to.
Exactly, like Ronaldinho, another example.
Big smile on his face. I can't
De
imagine.
repente Ronaldinho pasó de ser un superjugador top a caer, y no solamente era físico,
Yeah,
estaba aquí.
it is. It's here in your head so
Yeah.
so much of the time, and I think that was definitely what happened with him. And yeah, with Vinicius, it seems to be the opposite. You know, his trajectory has been up. Which is good. So it's good to see, because you want to see the talented players, the skillful players, playing well, don't you? So it's really really good. Last question: predictions for the derby. Obviously, I would say Madrid are favourites just because of that run that they've been on. Just for that, the 9 games in a row, as Kublai says, the 9 games in a row that they've won. The possibility of making it 10, I think, makes them favourites. What do you think?
It's going to be a 0-0.
Now, you made the same prediction last time.
It's the most common one. You're going to bet.
Yeah.
You have to bet for that.
Yeah.
Always.
Yeah.
And when you'll be a lot of time losing your money, I suppose you'll win something.
That's it. That's why I don't bet.
Yeah, because Atletico Madrid is going to defend very well. Real Madrid I think, it has not a lot of people who can score. Benzema is going to arrive to the match.
Maybe a little bit injured. Maybe not.
a little bit injured.
Not 100%, as we would say in English. So, yeah, I think that's possible. A lot of the time, my dad always says this. My dad always says that a lot of the time the big football games are a bit like big movies. So if you think of like the Avengers and all that kind of stuff, you know, there's a lot of people talking about them. There's a big expectation. And then sometimes they're not that good.
Yeah.
So it happens a lot of the time,
Yeah.
you know, Manchester United against Manchester City, or Chelsea against Arsenal. Quite a lot of the time these games are kind of not very good. And I don't know, I'm going to watch it obviously because, you know, I love football and everything, and I have great memories of the Madrid derby in the past and things. So I feel that I'm going to watch it, but I don't think it'll be 0-0. I think there'll be a goal or two in it, maybe 1-1. Let's go for that.
Okay.
But it will be a very conservative, I think, kind of
One
match.
all.
That's it. Yeah, possibly. Yeah, 1-0. Okay,
We
let's
have
go
to
for
think
that.
about how to say the scoreboard. No?
The scoreboard.
Okay, you can say it's 0-0. It's one a piece.
One
for
apiece,
example, you can
very
say.
good. Yeah. Yeah, you could say I think the match will finish one apiece, or I think the match will finish 1-1, for example. So yeah, there are lots of different things that you can say. Next time we'll be
Okay.
talking about it. We'll do a repaso. We'll do a review of how to talk about the scores. Now, we don't have too much time left, so it's time to finish the programme, as always, by giving you the clues for next week's Mystery Player.
Mystery Player.
Now, this is a tricky one to translate, this first clue. I actually had a bit of bother translating it. Siempre jugó en equipos de islas. How do we say that?
He played in teams. They were in an island.
Yeah.
For example, you would play in Ibiza.
That would be an
It's
island.
an island.
Yep.
You play in England.
Yeah.
Everywhere in England is an island. Too.
That's it. Well, Britain, no, Great Britain. Because
Yeah,
Scotland's
well-
on the island as well.
Yeah,
But yeah,
exactly.
it's true. Like, if you play in Great Britain, you're on an island. So
an
this
island.
this player, I'm not going to say his name, obviously. This player only played in teams from islands. If you're on Twitch,
I have a picture.
have a look
This
at
one.
have a look at this guy.
Yeah.
And a big clue, have a look at the people who are around them.
Yeah, and what el cartel de atrás, when is pale.
Yeah,
The
that
created
poster.
That's not Ibiza.
No, that's a beer advert for a beer in his country. I'm not going to say which one, but yes, that's a beer advert.
Beer
that's been-
specialist.
That's it. And it's not
Watch
0-0.
out.
It's heavy beer with lots of high percentage. So anyway, yeah, he only played in teams from islands. Clue number 2. According to FIFA, he's the best player in the history of his country. According to FIFA and according to a lot of people. Alex Ferguson says he's the best player in the
Yeah.
history of his country as well.
Do you agree?
So, I think so, yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't see too much of him, but from what I've heard, my grandfather talks about him. I think he's up there. Yeah, definitely. Clue number 3, Rowan.
He was the first person to call Old Trafford the Theatre of Dreams.
Very good. El Teatro de los Sueños.
Fue la primera persona que lo dijo.
Yeah, he bautizó. He baptized it almost. He christened it. He christened it the Theatre of Dreams. Clue number 4. He survived a plane crash. That's a very, very big clue. Very, very famous
Very.
moment in football history. And clue number 5.
He
Rowan.
played in 4 World Cups and won 1.
Very good. I think this week's easy, but maybe it's just because I'm from where I'm from. Maybe it's that's why I think it's easy. If you think you know the answer, write to us on speak_football_ on Twitter. And you can let us know who you think the mystery player is. Thanks to those of us who joined us on Twitch, as always. And if you're listening on Vaughan Radio, stick around with us here to hear Richard on La Hora Extra, which is on in just a couple of minutes. Thank you for joining us as always, and we'll see you again soon. Bye-bye.
Bye.